We told you it was a busy day, and it certainly is. Developments at Chelsea. James Savundra is back. What can you tell us?
Chelsea have been looking to sign a centre-back in this transfer window, and they're close to agreeing a deal with Crystal Palace to sign Maxence Lacroix. Now, the two clubs have been in talks for the last few days around a permanent move for the France international, who played in that World Cup semi-final last week against Spain. Now, we understand that Palace were looking for a fee of more than £55 million. They were using the Jean-Paul Van Hecke transfer fee as a bit of a guideline in terms of what they'd be looking for. Van Hecke had 1 year left in his contract. Spurs paid Brighton £55 million. Lacroix still has 3 years left in his contract. So Crystal Palace went into this transfer window in a really, really good place. Now, Palace and Chelsea enjoy really good relationships. They've done plenty of deals over the course of the last few transfer windows. But Xabi Alonso has entered the club this summer as a manager rather than head coach, and he's made it clear he wants to sign a centre-back in this transfer window. And Lacroix was one of several targets they were looking at in this transfer window. He's 26 years of age. We know Chelsea want to sign players with a bit more experience, players that are ready to make their mark in the Premier League. And Lacroix has had 2 really solid seasons at Crystal Palace, seasons which have seen him enter the France territory, becoming a French international. And we saw him part of that World Cup squad with France. We saw him win the Conference League with Crystal Palace last season. He helped to fill the void left by Mark Gay in defence in January, and he's done a brilliant job at Crystal Palace. So whether or not he's ready for this step up, Chelsea feel like he is, and talks really are advanced now. They're close to a deal, Chelsea, to sign Maxence Lacroix from Crystal Palace.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shift from what we've seen with Chelsea in terms of what we've seen in how they buy players and their extended contracts and so on and so forth. So this is a slight shift we're seeing in terms of Xabi Alonso being at the helm now.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, you could argue with Marco Palestra and Morgan Rogers that they're still signing young players, but Morgan Rogers is a player who's got 2.5 years of Premier League experience. I mean, you can go completely the other way in terms of their approach to sign Granit Xhaka, which they failed in from Sunderland because he turns 34 later this year. But Lacroix is at that perfect age, you feel like. He can still get much better as well. He's a physically imposing defender, very fast, one of the fastest centre-backs in the Premier League. But he has got that experience, so he can hit the ground running, as well as having the ability to get even better. Chelsea do have a number of centre-backs already, but we would expect there to be plenty more sales in this transfer window. People look at the amount of money Chelsea are spending in this transfer window and they wonder how they're doing it. Well, they do it because they are world-class at selling players. They're getting in a huge amount of money. They've already brought in around £130 million when it comes to player sales already in this window. That will increase when the Alejandro Garnacho deal goes through next summer. They've got £17 million in compensation from Enzo Maresca becoming the Manchester City manager. So they're very well placed. Yes, they have to be very prudent. They have to ensure they comply with the UEFA guidelines this year, despite the fact they're not in Europe, because they've got a 4-year agreement with UEFA to fit within UEFA guidelines and Premier League guidelines as well they need to fit within. But they feel like they can get this deal done, and I think they back themselves. If they do get a deal done for Lacroix, they back themselves in terms of sales to ensure they come out of this transfer window with profit.
Chelsea are reportedly on the verge of completing a deal for Crystal Palace defender Maxence Lacroix as Enzo Maresca looks to strengthen his defensive options ahead of the new Premier League campaign. The Blues have been actively searching for another centre-back this summer, and Lacroix has emerged as one of the club's priority targets following his impressive performances in English football. Chelsea believe the French defender possesses the pace, composure and physicality needed to thrive in Maresca's possession-based system. Negotiations between Chelsea and Crystal Palace have progressed significantly over recent days, with sources indicating that an agreement is now close. While the final details of the transfer are still being discussed, there is growing confidence at Stamford Bridge that the deal will be completed before the start of the new season. Lacroix enjoyed an excellent campaign after arriving from VfL Wolfsburg, quickly establishing himself as one of Palace's most reliable defenders. His ability to defend one-on-one situations, recover quickly and play comfortably from the back has attracted interest from several top European clubs, but Chelsea appear to have moved into pole position. The 26-year-old is believed to be keen on the move, seeing it as an opportunity to compete for major honours and play Champions League football. Personal terms are not expected to be a significant obstacle, with discussions already at an advanced stage. For Chelsea, the signing would add valuable experience and competition to a squad that continues to evolve under Maresca. The Italian manager is determined to build a defence capable of challenging both domestically and in Europe, and Lacroix's profile fits the club's recruitment strategy perfectly. Crystal Palace, meanwhile, are preparing for the possibility of losing one of their key defenders and have already begun identifying potential replacements should the transfer be finalized. Although the transfer has yet to be officially confirmed, all indications suggest Chelsea are closing in on one of their biggest defensive signings of the summer. Supporters will now be eagerly awaiting the famous "here we go" moment as the Blues edge ever closer to securing Maxence Lacroix's signature.